When we first made contact with a little planet called Earth, home to a species called the humans, we went through our standard invitation process. It wasn't anything we hadn't done hundreds upon hundreds of times before, teaching them about our system of government and our universal set of laws. As soon as we got past the first step, they seemed pretty reluctant, especially about following our communist type of government. This wasn't too out of the ordinary, of course. We had gone through dozens of species just like them, who eventually adapted to our system. And it rarely caused lasting conflict. Pretty quickly, however, we learned that not only would the humans disapprove of our way of life, they would outright reject it. For example, we had a Union standard ship that was used across the galaxy, and it was the only ship permitted for civilian use. We thought the humans would take these ships with gratitude, like every other race before them, especially considering their ships were far inferior. However, within a few days, they began to reverse engineer our vessels to create their own. When we first laid eyes on the thing, we immediately disapproved it. Sure, theirs was faster and stronger, but it was way too deadly. In fact, most of the weapons on their ships rivaled that of our best militaries, when civilians were only allowed emergency stun torpedoes. Needless to say, it failed our safety inspections miserably. But, of course, as soon as we told them they would not be permitted to use these for actual intergalactic flight, they shrugged it off as a suggestion. Looking back, they took almost everything we told them as a suggestion. They really hated being told what to do. When we told them they would have to cut it out or face consequences, they took it as a challenge. They made it their goal to piss us off as much as possible, committing what should have been considered outright acts of war across the galaxy. Of course, after being given samples of what they were capable of, we shut our mouths and moved on. After all, they weren't doing too much harm, and it wasn't worth a civil war. Over time, however, they began to earn our respect, little by little. They did improve on our technology quite a bit, even if it was for the most part just an attempt to one-up us and rub it in our faces that they were better. They treated us like an annoying younger brother, but one they were dedicated to protecting. In fact, they had somehow brought more peace to our society. No one wanted to mess up when a human was around. And due to our alliances, no one wanted to start a war with us. Despite the fact that they had the firepower to take over the entire galaxy with almost no effort whenever they wanted, they mainly kept to themselves. And we began to call them the Peaceful Warlords. As time went by, we learned to adapt to the presence of humanity and look the other way when they were around. Because if they taught us one thing, it's that humans are not to be messed with. The author's name and the link to original text is in the description. Consider tapping the thumbs up and pressing the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video.